Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today on this PARO's Peer Lending Circles information session. My name is René Gendron and I'm the Eastern Ontario Coordinator for PARO. I'm also joined by Nefri Fala, who is PARO Circle Coordinator in Thunder Bay. I myself am in Ottawa, and this session is going to be on PARO Circles, PARO as an organization, what do we do, and how can Circles support you in developing and growing your business. PARO is the Center for Women's Enterprise, it's Latin for I am ready. We've been around for just under 30 years and we're headquartered in Thunder Bay. Our mandate and our focus and our passion is to support women entrepreneurs in whichever stage of business they're in. We help entrepreneurs from the ideation stage where they kind of sort of maybe have an idea for a business. We help them understand if they want to start a business or if they want to work in the sector. That's a different mindset. And we also help them grow their business from part-time job, part-time hobby to something stable. And we have supports also for companies that want to scale to more than $250,000 in revenue. We have core values as an organization, which are cooperation, ownership, integrity, responsibility, simplification, because life can be very, very messy, peer support, and supporting women where they are in their entrepreneurship journey. As an organization, we're very aware, very familiar that women face different constraints and obstacles to successfully launching a business. And we're very mindful to be responsive to the needs of our clients in ensuring that they have funding, resources, emotional support, and other structures around them that acknowledge the reality of women entrepreneurs and business owners. Just back here. I'm just moving the Zoom screen. Why peer lending circles? What are they? Well, they help women connect with other women business owners. It helps them provide support in their entrepreneurship journey. And it provides a safe space for women to connect with other business owners, to talk about common challenges, to talk about how personal life impacts the ability to run and launch your business, or how your business impacts your personal life, your family life, and how do you get that balance? And you're interacting with other women who face similar challenges. So it's interesting to be able to share, to be vulnerable, and to have mutual success with one another. There are 4 things that go into peer lending circles, and we recognize that women entrepreneurs and business owners historically have had challenges in accessing funding and finance. And with the micro enterprises and the capital, so what they do with peer lending is they provide strategic access to funds and to support when the woman needs it. There are critical points and stages in any company, and when you can inject a little bit of cash in there, it gives them a boost to be able to get that next client, to be able to get inventory or take professional development courses needed to take it to the next level. Peer lending circles allow for community economic self-reliance, and it allows women a different access to funding where they might have bruised credit or they might have no credit. And there's a lot of wariness with dealing with formal banks and other financial institutions like Business Development Canada because of constraints, right? Women tend to not make as much money as men. Women tend to have a lot more childcare responsibilities and hiccups and life hiccups. And you might have to put some stuff on the credit card. You might be a newcomer to Canada and have no credit history and not trust financial institutions abroad. And so that carries forward to not trusting Canadian financial institutions. So there's a whole baked into the cake scenario where peer lending circles support women develop a positive credit rating, develop healthy relationships with money and finance, and get used to cash flow. Women need appropriate support and to thrive. And this is what a peer lending circle is. The primary purpose is support. And once you've got that support, you're able to excel and to thrive. The peer lending circles that we use at PARO were based on the Calmetto model and experience. The Calmetto model was a is a Canadian NGO, nonprofit organization, and they started to experiment with different models of social finance. And they found that having a peer group around you not only improves and fosters community and helps build deeper and stronger relationships between people, but it also improves the ability of that person to use the money wisely and have it achieve impact and results. Right. So what are peer lending circles? And we'll start with this definition that we use is that it's a self-selected group of cousins, aunts are okay, but not mother, sister, or daughter, except for enterprising Indigenous women. And so we've got, because we're responsive to the needs of women, we have different programs. And one of our programs for Indigenous women is Enterprising Indigenous Women, EIW. And for that particular cohort, for cultural needs and cultural sensitivity, it's okay to have a mother and sister and daughter in a peer circle. If you're outside of the EIW program, you can have cousins and aunts in your circle, but not your mother or daughter. And what we do is we help women where they are to develop connections where they have. Because circles are self-selected, some circles prefer to have different professions. Other circles prefer to have same linguistic capabilities or same language spoken. Other groups prefer to have something very close to the geographic area where they can walk to see one another. And other ones prefer having a broader geographic scope to be able to tap into different networks and different resources. It's very much up to what the women want, what kind of composition of a group. And peer lending circles are 4 to 7 women within a group. And I believe Nefri has a couple of stories to share about success stories with peer lending circles. Nefri.
Absolutely. I'm not seeing the slide, but that's okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, so the success stories, as you can see in this picture, they're all existing circles at the moment. So at the very bottom, we have the Tenacious Tigrets from North Bay. This circle has won Circle of the Year. There is an award every year. We have PARO Biz Awards, and we award the best performing circle in terms of support to each other, connectivity with PARO, work in the community. So this circle there won their award. So did pretty much all of them that were there, won Circle of the Year. We've had many circle successes. One of them really memorable is from Sudbury, and they're called the Wellness Warriors, and it's 4 women who are all in the health wellness industry, and they were working in different places and promoting their businesses individually. And what they found is when they're all together, they cross promote their services and their products that they have. And so they as a circle, they're already meeting together, they're already strategizing together and supporting each other, approving their fundings, and supporting their businesses, that they decided to open a whole one studio for themselves. So then now they work in a, you might say, co-workly type of joint studio for all 4 of them. And even though the services are similar, they're still different, that they support and encourage each other. So that's one of the success stories. Here in Thunder Bay, we've had our End Development Circle group. Many women here have also won the Circle of the Year award. And also, as you might even find out, the Gemstones Circle was nominated Circle and won Circle of the Year as well. So a couple of circle successes. I'm good, Renee.
Thank you so much, Nefri. I appreciate that. I will go back to the presentation. There we go. And we were here at the pictures. All right, so peer lending circles are microloan programs for women at any stage of their business, and they're funded, well, the foundation of this program has these core values. We believe in cooperation, ownership, responsibility, simplification, and peer support. Those are PARO's core values. And they all fit into the concept of a peer lending circle. PARO is a pan-Ontarian organization that supports women entrepreneurs throughout Ontario. And these are just some of our hubs, just to give you an idea of how we break up different territories. I myself am in Hub 9, which is in the Ottawa and the Ottawa Valley area, but I'm also the coordinator for Eastern and Southern Ontario. So Hubs 10 and 11 are my areas of responsibility. So here we go, just a little breakdown to give you an idea of where we are. And throughout Ontario, we have over 190 circles in 170 communities. This can be small communities in Northern Ontario, or like in Pickle Lake, or it can be very well in the GTA area and with multiple circles there. Key member benefits. So why are you going to join a circle? Well, you have primarily support in financing, grants and loans. And if you're looking to scale your business, having this kind of access to doing cash flow projections, because you must hand in a cash flow projection before getting access to the financing, it gives you the ability to harness those skills and develop them for future reference and larger grants and larger loans. It gives you a credit history, and it's good if in case you have damaged credit, it helps repair that. You get special access to PARO events and PARO networking events. And you can also belong to a group of 4 to 7 women who also want to see you thrive. And it's very important to have that social support when developing a business in order to thrive, in order to do a good business. We have access to online resources, and some of you who have business growth advisors, you would have probably heard of PARO Go Forth. PARO Go Forth is a free online business 101 course. It is a huge deposit and library of videos on how to market, how to set pricing, how to deal with taxes and government regulations. You have videos that are all chunks and little pieces that you can do on your own time. It's free, it's online, it's available 24/7, and you have 1 year to complete it. But the additional bonus to this is that once you've hit sort of like a learning threshold, you can also have access to the resource section. And the resource section is this massive library of how-tos, articles, templates. If you're looking for cash flow templates, if you're looking for techniques to balance work and life, if you're looking for other resources to get you started, there's a whole other section there as well that you can access for free. And if you're interested in PARO Go Forth, you're welcome to reach out to me personally or to Nefri or your business growth advisor and simply ask for access to it, and we'll happily oblige. And if you're a circle member, you also have the ability to influence PARO as an organization, and circle members can participate in strategic planning for the organization, as well as be part of the board of directors. And so if you're very enthusiastic about entrepreneurship and women entrepreneurship and rebuilding the economic base of Ontario, here's an opportunity for you to volunteer and be around a bunch of amazing people. How do you become a member, right? So there's 2 ways. You can form your own circle, or you can join an existing circle. And forming your own circle is you finding at least 3 other women, and you form a core group of 4, but you can go up to 7, and you just figure out what makes you click as a group. Is it because you share a similar market? Is it because you share similar industries, or they're just very different and complementary as skills and services? You just laugh together, you know each other very well. So that would be one way. Another way is sometimes you're familiar with the PARO ecosystem, you're familiar with some of our existing clients, and some of those clients might also participate in a circle, and they might invite you to participate in that circle, or you might ask to join. So there's 2 principal ways of joining or participating in circles. But if you want to you want to create your own circle, the first step is to find 3 to 6 other women. And let's say you've got a very good friend who's also owns her business, and you say, we're 2 people, and we could really benefit from being in a circle, and we could really benefit from the support that PARO can offer. You're each responsible for recruiting one person. And once both of you recruit one person, there's your core circle. And then you can maybe go out another layer, the people that you've recruited, ask them to recruit another woman. And all of a sudden you're up to 6 people in your group. So that's an interesting way of tapping existing networks, but also expanding out a little bit to be able to reinforce relations. We do host monthly webinars and networking at different events. And that's another way that you can meet PARO clients, PARO members, and just get to know other women within the ecosystem, connect, click, have conversations with people who might also want to have a circle. Once you've decided that you wanted to have a circle with these particular women, you need to choose a name, and you need to notify the PARO representative, either the BGA or the coordinator, in order to move forward as a group. We have an onboarding session with the counselor or the BGA. You need to complete bylaws and you need to form an agreement. We have templates for this. It's an administrative process, but it gets you thinking about the shape and structure of your group. And it gets you focused on the habit of going through a meeting. What are the steps to take? How do you make sure that this is a formal meeting in which business is discussed, and really start getting to the core of the reason why circles exist? Each member who agrees to participate has to do an intake form, a membership form, and pays a $20 fee. I'll get into the $20 fee later, but there is a fee. Circles submit completed documents to the circle coordinator. That's Nefri, right? Nefri is on the call with us. And once the documents are prepared, she brings it to the board for approval, and it goes to the 15th of the month for timing. Once you've received approval, you open an emergency fund account at a financial institution, and the $20 that you put in as a fee goes into that emergency fund. Okay, this is what the $20 are for. Account funds is the purpose of holding funds in reserve and used only to prevent loan defaults. Remember, we're here, the concept of a circle is to ensure women have access to micro grants and micro loans. And with the loans, and in order to repair credit, establish credit, or get used to cash flow and financial management, we want to protect you. We're here in support, and sometimes things happen, life happens, and you might default on a loan. You have access to a one-time payment from that emergency fund to be able to carry your loan to the next month while you recover your cash flow. And it's also the emergency fund helps women with poor credit or no credit, because what happens with the bank on the financial institution side is you're not being evaluated on the basis of your credit. You're being evaluated on the basis of your character, which is very critical and a very important distinction to make. And once you've got that distinction of being evaluated on character, you have an emergency fund, right? I in good faith present to myself to the financial institution, and then here you go, I have backup in case I can't pay for the fund. So it replaces collateral and equity, and it's part of a larger emergency fund held by PARO. So if you have what, 4 to 7 women in the circle, it is possible that more than one woman has a loan out at one time, and your emergency fund must cover at least one payment per member who has an outstanding loan. It starts off with 4 members, let's say that's $80. That's good for one payment. If you have a second lady who is taking out a loan, then you'll need to bump that up to 120 to be able to cover both payments. So, and then you select the signees for account holders. There's going to be 2 signatures, 2 signees per account. And this is a little bit of an administrative side, but because we're supported by the government, we have different territories for different buckets of money depending on the budget. So it's FedNor territory and FedDev territory. So the checklist, right? All this administrative stuff is fantastic. You complete the form for bylaws. Your business growth advisor will provide this to you. The forms are completed and signed for the circle formation. You select a bank and the banks are dependent on where you are. If you're in Ottawa or Toronto, it'll be Alternative Savings. But if you're in other areas, there will be other credit unions or other institutions that we refer you to be able to hold the account for the emergency fund and to be able to ensure the loans are processed through that institution. So we do the complete online intake form for each member joining. Each member has completed the form and filled out the membership form. And then we confirm that each member has paid into the emergency fund for $20. That's the sort of checklist of things that need to be done. Now, you have an introduction to a great PARO circle. You want to join them. That's a slightly different process. The first step to joining an existing circle is to speak with your PARO counselor and advisor to see what other circles are available in your area or existing and what's the purpose of the circle. Attend the PARO circle up to get to know other women. Some women are already participants in circles. Other ones are looking to form a circle. If you connected with somebody in a circle, you can speak with them. You can ask to speak with the circle leader and present yourself and say, hey, I do this, I'm in this area. How about we have a couple of conversations to see if we click? Because it's very important to be able to get along with the other people in the circle. Sometimes the other circles are recruiting and they will go out and seek you. So there's a bit of a conversation to be had there. The new member completes the intake form, completes the membership online form, and pays $20 into the emergency fund. New members then sign a formation form and review the existing circle bylaws to make sure that new members know it and that they might need to tweak a little bit depending on what's happening. And then the member starts circle funding application and attends the circle meetings in good faith. That's a slightly different process, right? You need to know more about the PARO network and our PARO clients, but that's another way of joining circles. So here we are with PARO peer lending circles and what are lending loans. So these are small business loans and the members need to approve. Here you are in a circle. Hey, all right, participate in the circle. It's great. It's fun. You're really building your business and you have a need for funding. You then present your case to your circle. You say, this is what I want to do with it. These are my cash flow projections. This is how it's going to boost my business. And you take ownership of that project. And you take ownership of what you're going to do with the cash once you get it. And it encourages feedback and encourages multiple points of view to make your plan, to make your idea more robust and more likely to succeed once you have the funding. So the ability to receive grants or non-repayable portion, it depends on the following things. So you need to be an active member in a circle. You need to be a woman-owned business or enterprise. You need to present your idea, to pitch your idea to your particular circle, and they need to agree. They need to agree that it's viable for your business and that the cash flow projections make sense and that it will help build your business. The criteria for the grant are the applicant after-tax income meets the low income cutoff for her particular community, currently unemployed or will become unemployed in the near future and may need assistance to launch or to restart a micro enterprise, or have a disability with conditions that limit her employability. And here we have all circle members receiving a grant or non-repayable portion from PARO are required to complete financial literacy training. And this is simply attending our webinars and or webcasts to be able to understand how best to manage cash flow. Stages of funding. Okay? This is the nitty gritty stuff. This is what we want to know. So we have 4 stages of funding. And the first stage of funding with a non-repairable portion is $500. And then the loan itself is $500. So you have $1,000 available money for the first section. The term of repayment is 9 months, and it's a monthly repayment of $60. The interest rate is a little bit tricky. It's variable depending on which financial institution it goes through, but it's 10% or less. You repay that at a fixed schedule. You must take at least 6 months to repay that loan, because some members will try to redeem it immediately to go to stage 2 funding or to gain access to other stages of funding. You need to repay that no less than 6 months, but you have 9 months to repay that. Stage 2 funding is $1,000 grant and $1,000 loan. And again, this is a 9-month term with monthly repayments of $120, and the interest rate remains 10% or less. If you want more money, if you need to buy equipment or renew a laptop you need for work, or you want to take professional development that will really hone your skills to continue and boost your business, you become eligible for stage 3 funding. And stage 3 funding is up to $3,000 loan. You have 27 months to repay it, so that's just over 2 years. And the repayment monthly rate is $120, and the interest is 10% or less. Stage 4 funding is up to $5,000 loan, and it's 27 months to repay, $220 a month, and the interest rate again is 10% or less. Once you've reached stage 3 and stage 4, you have the option of bouncing back and forth. You might not need another $5,000 loan. Maybe you only need $3,500 or $4,000, and that's okay. So once you're past stage 4, you can bounce back and forth as to how much you want to borrow. And that's one option to go and get commercial loans through this. All circles in Ontario, right? So here's the sort of timeline. What can you expect? You need to find the people first. So you can click right away after a session like this. Okay, let's do it. Get to know the person first before you go into this administrative process. Make sure that you have similar likes, similar interests, that you play well with one another. That can take some time. If you already know friends who have women-owned businesses, well, then you already trust them, you already know them, and that way you can just start this process basically this afternoon after this call. Let's assume that you already know who you want to play with in your circle. So at the beginning of the month, your circle members decide who gets to apply for the loan, or 1 or 2 members. Circle applies and reviews the application, and then PARO needs to review this and make sure that everything is in order. By the 15th of every month, the applicant submits a complete loan application to the circle coordinator. That would be NEFRI. And at the 25th day of the month, thereabouts, it gets reviewed by the PARO board. They review the process, they review the forms, they then approve them or send them back with questions. At the 25th or 30th of every month, the lender payment schedule, and there's notifications on next steps for the applicant, right? So the applicant submits everything by the 15th of the month. By the 30th of the month, the financial institution's been contacted, and it's a couple of days about drafting the loan, the agreement, the approval documents. So it's internal procedures for the bank. 3 or 5 days after your approval and availability permits, the individual opens a bank account only for circle members with Alberta as a lender. So again, this is a bit of a nuance as to which financial institution you're going through. And there's negotiation or presentation of the borrowing terms and the borrowing agreement. And then 2 or 3 days after the agreement, so that's the 10th of the following month, the money is dispersed. It's about a month and a half long process, depending on schedules, depending on vacation, depending on what's happening at the lender as well. So a month and a half or so before the loan is actually approved and the funds are dispersed. Okay. Here's a wonderful checklist for you to consider when applying for circle funding. You need to complete the application form, and it needs to be signed by all active members in your group. This is you're pitching your idea to your group, right? So you need to make sure that things go forward. You have a copy of the e-fund. This is a circle bank account with proof of sufficient funds for at least one default payment in the event. A 1-year cash flow projection of stages 1 and 2. And there's an Excel spreadsheet that we send you. You fill it out. It makes sense. All members of the circle members have paid their fee, so the circle is current in terms of administrative procedures. There is a $10 loan application fee, and that's payable by transfer, by e-transfer, or by PayPal, or by check. And you need a signed consent form to open an alternate individual account where the loan payment is withdrawn and the funds are deposited. Avoid check or banking information for personnel or business account for which Circle funds will be dispersed into the monthly loan payments and withdrawal by the lender. Okay? And that's just to make sure that the numbers are right and that the money is deposited to the right account and withdrawn from the right account. Okay? So what's next? If you're interested in joining a circle, you can network right after this. You can touch base with your BGA or myself as a coordinator, or with Nefri. We have Circle Up events at the end of every month, and or you can join our Facebook group where there's a lot of interaction between members and get to know other people right there. So I went a little bit over, but we still have about, so look at my time here. Still have about 25 minutes to keep you on time for 1:15. So that's it. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. That's a beautiful African proverb. And some circle spotlights, right? We have over 190 circles active in Ontario right now. Fierce and Fabulous Circle, the award-winning recipients of 2018. We have the Tenacious Tigers. We have a couple of other circles in development, and Six of a Kind circle, right? So just some of the successful spotlights that we have of circles throughout Ontario. If you'd like to reach out to PARO, we would love to hear from you. Our headquarters is in Thunder Bay. We have a toll-free number, and we have satellite offices in the Sioux, Ottawa, Marathon, and Belleville. And so if you, sorry, and this would be my contact information, PARO Biz East at PARO. 343-543-8370 would be my cell number. And so a quick snapshot of that. And then if you'd like to reach out to Nefri directly, who is the Circles coordinator, you may reach her at the following information. All right, ladies, you've been exceptionally kind and patient. We'll just open the floor up to questions. And I remember, and I'll just reiterate that this session is being recorded. If you want to wait until the recording is done to complete, that's okay. If you're a little bit shy and you don't want to take your camera off, that's okay. And we can also just ask questions in the chat. I've spoken a lot, so I'm going to have some coffee. All right, like a lot. All right, ladies. Little thumbs up. Yeah.
I have a question for Nefri. My existing circle from that I originally started with many years ago is still in the archives. I guess that everybody disbanded. Is there any way that I can reinstate that circle?
Absolutely. I know we've been in contact through email, so definitely it's possible. Have you been able to contact, you know what? I can answer this without being recorded.
Okay.
Okay. So if there's any other question or no other question that we can elaborate on the presentation itself, we'll just stop the recording and then have a discussion.
Okay.
I am getting a copy of the bylaws to be able to share with Gabriella.
Okay.
So
yes.
Just let me find that. And are there other questions?
Yeah, you definitely get to review the documents, discuss, ask any and as many questions. You can wait a month, you can wait a year, you can wait a few years before you form your circle. As we say, PARO means I am ready. So you want to be ready. You need to be ready to do the work, and we're here to walk along with you, provide the resources that you need at that step of your life. And you recruit the women that you want to have in your circle, and it's all self-selected. It has complete autonomy until when you're ready. So absolutely. All right, well, thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll continue on.